All right, Sam Van Geleuken, and I'm in Toronto, and I work freelance in location sound. Oh, job title. Depends on the show. I just wrapped up on a scripted show doing it was a sketch comedy show called Grad. I spent probably about a year trying to get post work. I emailed Mark. I think he felt bad for me, and he's like, "Okay, I'll put you in contact with Krupka," which is who he's been talking about. I'm sure he's talked about him. So he reached out to the school and asked for a recommendation, and MB put me in contact with him, and that was while I was working AV, commuting to Toronto because Toronto's expensive, and because I was just really young. And I just needed a job to like bring up some confidence and meet some friends, and yeah, music.
Are you a musician?
I am.
What do you play?
Yeah, guitar.
Nice.
Yeah. That's pretty much what I did in high school. It was like, and I have a friend in London still who was teaching me like recording and stuff before I came here while I was in high school. We've kind of like grown up together, and I was like, well, I have fun when I record music. So I don't know, just like how much I really loved it. Like, cause I mean, I was 18. I was like, is this what I want to do? But then I calmed down after like a week and leaned into it, and like I can't really picture my life any other way. It's such an eye-opening program. Like sitting in Mark MV's class, and listening to him talk about something and like listening to him be so excited and passionate, and then that like radiates. You're like, oh my, that is actually so cool.
Yeah.
That's so inspiring. Like
Yeah.
it really like every time I come here, it just kind of like revives that a little bit. Sound design. I think that was the most eye-opening thing for me, was this whole new way to be creative that's not music. Like specifically for animation. Like it takes two like really intriguing worlds and like blends them together, and now you have this like cool drawing style and all these like great colors and these little characters that like the paint bucket that in Red Bull is being dropped now has character that you made. Like, that's so cool. It's just something like on a personal level, like I'm so glad I was exposed to that. Just being around gear and studios and people that think the same way as you do, and or just like get you. Yeah, like none of my high school friends, like even like one of them played piano. And and it was like, I just don't really like, I don't share this with anybody, and I feel weird, and like, I mean, I was socially awkward in high school and just did, like, I had friends, but like, I didn't make a whole lot of, like, it was hard to make friends and like, feel connected to people, and I came here and like, that just like, you meet a whole bunch of different people, but they're all people that like, baseline like get you. You kind of find yourself, I guess. Yeah, when I came here, it was just like, I just like sound. Like, I like music and I like sound, and that was it. That's all I knew. I mean, when I came, I had no idea how vast the information would be. That came my way, and all of a sudden I have a call, and do you want to do this cooking show? And like, yeah. Did that, it went well, and then we did another cooking show, and it went well, and then production started learning how to film in the pandemic, and so I got thrown in some more cooking shows, and then I was asked to do Survivor, and then everything blew up, and I met a bunch of people that wanted to work with me, and now I work with the mixer that we trade jobs all the time, and he takes me on for shows and as a boom op, and so far so good. I'm sure they've preached this. I'm sure they did that to you guys. I mean, I know they did it for our year, which was like, tell us what you want. like, tell us. We don't know if you don't tell us, like, where do you see yourself and what do you like and enjoy and, like, what do you want to do? Because I totally would have, like, gone through the entire year being, like, keep my head down, like, I like audio and it's fun, and then I would have gone nowhere. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna work in a studio and record songs, and because that's the only thing I see myself doing. And then TV, I was like introduced to the whole world of TV and video games, and which I wish was a whole other year for learning that kind of stuff, because that was so much fun. And that's why I wanted to go into post, because I would love to do sound design, but working in Fiji is pretty cool too. That's the thing, like, I'm 23. Like we were saying earlier, is like my whole life's ahead of me. Like, I can do this for like 15 years and be like, oh, I want to do post now, and then go switch to post. Like, well, that's like my whole life is not decided right now. So I think that takes a lot of pressure off of grads. To be honest, like, I learned how to talk to people and do a job and have pressure on me and apply that elsewhere. And like how to manage yourself. Like, it's so easy to go from top project, great student to, okay, I don't know how to make myself breakfast and get there on time. Like, I had a phone interview that was pretty much like, I think that's more of a test of like, are you competent and do I like talking to you? You pass those checks, and the real, I guess, interview or test is like, just do it well and prove that you're adaptable and you can learn. For like me personally, no. Like, I didn't even think about sound for film before I came here. Like, I didn't even think it was an option. The process to getting to where I am was so accelerated because of that connection. Like, the person who hired me was a grad and reached out to the school, and them having that connection, there's a level of trust. Like, here, we're giving you somebody good. You have to do well, but like, I might be working like some show, but I don't think I'd have worked on like Survivor or like, yeah, my transition to like full-time work and like good work and good people and just like gratification and like good pay and like just like all like the accumulation of all of that, I don't think I would be near where I am now at the age that I am. It was a text from the same guy who hired me for the cooking show, and he was supposed to mix the show, and then he had a family emergency and had somebody else cover him, and he was off. And a bake was happening, and we were kind of just like waiting for it to be over. Like, we're kind of just like on standby just in case something like a mic falls or something, but really we're sitting around and talking, and I'm like on my phone, like, hey, do you want to do Survivor? Like, yeah, brain says no, thumb say yes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, because it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's really like, it's so lucky. Like, who gets a text? Do you want to work on Survivor? So like, obviously, actually being there was like nothing that I ever expected. It is such a huge crew. The audio team itself is like in the 20s. It's huge. And so I was on the challenge team, and I'm audio teching there. So it's like, the bigger the production, the smaller the role. So I'm doing like a lot of repairs, a lot of prep. And this is what I'm super excited about going back, is like, I can sit in an office and read manuals and practice on broken gear and repair that. And like, this time I plan on going over my notes because they're from school, because I realized like, that stuff's like left my head. Like last year, I was able to shadow reality mixers and go out on the camp and run around and boom some dialogue. I think OIART sets you up really well socially, because the people you meet in film are really similar. Like, we're all like little off, and like just like have like, we went to school for like something weird like sound or film, or we all have like that common ground, and it's not hard to find people that you get along with really well and work with really well. That's tough.
Favorite part of your job, you know?
Who? There's a couple answers, I think. One of it is like the technical side, I guess. Like miking people is pretty much arts and craft, like, which is so fun. Like, I never thought I'd be able to use that in my life. Like, throughout high school, I was like total art kid, and every piece of fabric and the shape of somebody's body and like the height of their sternum and like how they wear belts and like all those things, certain things to just like make enough space for your mic to sound good, especially on the reality, like the cooking shows where the kitchen's loud and there's 10 cameras. There's obviously no boom, and they're wearing aprons and they're looking down and they're breathing into their mic and they're whisking and they're talking. Your mic has to sound good and it has to stay on. I just did my first like full length scripted show where I was booming every day, 12 hours a day, all day, which is so rewarding. Like learning a mic, like really learning a mic, how to stand and what movements will get you that range of motion without hitting the shadows, without dipping into frame, learning your lenses, and hearing like the 50 and I was using the CMC6, like the chef's mic.
Yep.
So, like, they sound so good. And like just like learning really how to like maximize that is so rewarding. I mean, I guess the night before would be reading the scripts and the call sheet. I show up like probably 20 minutes before call and make sure I get breakfast and make some coffee. I had the luxury of having a coffee station on the last one in our office, which is great. And then it's really just like it depends on your role and who you're working with and what responsibilities you guys decide to split up. But on this one, it was, get my harness on, walkies up, and put batteries and everything. The other call sheet will tell you how many talent that you're wiring, and then prep all that. Sure, transmitters, batteries, boom monitor has a battery, boom has batteries. Make my way over to cast holding, wire everybody as they come out of processing, which can be quick or it can be waiting for an hour or it can be whatever. They all get wired, then we go to blocking. We do blocking, we'll bump up gain a few points, bring it down a few points, just make our little fine adjustments there and adjust any problems before we start shooting. We'll get my frame line and my position and make sure I have no shadows during camera rehearsal. Then we'll shoot our scenes and we'll do that the entire day. We do it all in reverse as we wrap out. And we do that for 50 days. Not huge. I've done a bit of Top Chef. And then some
not a big show or anything.
Top Chef Canada. Great Chocolate Showdown. Sounds really small, but America loves it. So that was my first show ever, and so I've done all 3 seasons of it, and it's getting like, it would be nice to not do it because that means I'm moving on to bigger and better things. But then there's like, Great Chocolate Showdown. I gotta do season 4.
Yeah.
There would be like the people that I meet, like when you're with somebody 12 plus hours a day, like a few people you get so close and you make great friends and great bonds with like the actors and people that you interact with all the time, and it's like it's a lot of fun. I got paid to go work in Fiji and then came home, and a month later I'm working in Guelph on like a kids show called Gabby's Farm. Like it's so different. Yeah. And it's all of it has something good about it. It's challenges that you overcome like on the daily. And then you get to the point where it's like, I know that doesn't work, so like just skip that step. Like you just know what works and what doesn't, and then you eventually encounter new challenges, and then you just get smarter. You just get better at your job.